Try number 3. Good morning. I wanted to make some sort of documentation of the herbs and supplements that have made a difference for me. And as a disclaimer, I want to say to all those people out there who had similar beliefs to me, there is not going to be one herb or one supplement that's going to like fix you or like cure your problem. Herbs and supplements are supplementation to an already healthy lifestyle. Like, you most likely can't just take one herb or one supplement and have your anxiety go away or have your depression go away or feel better rested. Like, it's going to most likely take a combination of eating well, exercising, meditating, like taking care of yourself. But herbs and supplements do, if you have the money and you're privileged enough to have access to them, help. They can help and they can make a difference. But they are not this sort of magical cure-all that they're sometimes purported to be on TikTok or Instagram, where it's like, oh, I did this cleanse and, now I'm feeling perfect and now I'm, all my problems went away. That's not to say that some of your problems might not go away when trying some of these things, but it's an important distinction to make because I think it kind of leans into this perfectionistic mindset of like, I'm a problem or I have a problem that can be fixed and there is a solution out there that I can buy. And that's just not the case. Herbs and supplements, I can't remember if I said this already, are supplementations to kind of make you feel better. So I'll go through the ones I use currently, ones I've used in the past that make a difference, and so on. First off, every morning, I take 3 milligrams of supplementation lithium. It's about the amount of lithium that we already get in our drinking water. And because, allegedly, because the soil is so depleted, I don't really feel bad about taking it. It can help with emotional regulation and just kind of evening you out. It's funny because when you have bipolar, lithium's what you take when you're manic, and lamictal is what you take when you're depressed. But for me, I felt like lithium made a pretty instant shift in how much I was crying. Because I was crying a lot, and it was, I'd gotten out of a breakup, and I also had some other pretty personal, intense things happen to me that would make sense that I'm crying, but that can kind of get in the way of living life. So you can microdose lithium up to 5 milligrams, and it's really well tolerated. You can go do your own research on it. Oh, one thing I do want to say before getting into the rest of the video is brands do matter, in my experience. The brand matters. I don't buy Now. I don't buy like the one with the orange label. I don't buy like Spring Valley like from Walmart. Well, I actually have like a vitamin C Spring Valley. But from my experience, you really want to buy something that's a reputable brand. For me, those ones that I like are Life Extension, Nature's Way, Blue Bonnet, Garden of Life, Mega Food, and maybe there's a couple more. I mean, there's tons of great herb and supplement brands. Nature's Way is a really good go-to for me because they're generally pretty cheap and they do what they do. So I take lithium in Life Extension brand. I also take a probiotic. If you're feeling irregular, probiotic can really help. Now, just taking a probiotic probably isn't going to make the big shift that you're hoping, because as Gooby and Dooby taught me, that's the whole reason we need fiber, apparently. It's like everyone says fiber's important, this, you need fiber with your meal, that. These fiber sodas that are now coming out and stuff, and I like didn't get it, why fiber, but it's because your gut bacteria eat fiber to grow and live. So a diverse variety of plant fibers is what promotes healthy gut bacteria. So if you're just taking probiotic, but then you're still eating no fiber and eating lots of sugars and oils and stuff, you might see a difference. But if you really want that probiotics that you're putting into your body to flourish, you're going to want to make sure that you're eating enough fiber or taking some sort of fiber supplement. Garden of Life has a pretty good, I haven't tried it, but I looked at it and I wanted to get it, but I'm a little bit tight of budget to get it now. But it has multiple different types of plant fiber in it, because a lot of the fiber supplements is just one kind of fiber. I'm not saying those don't work. I've taken one kind of fiber. It helped my stomach problems a lot. So yeah, if you're having stomach problems, maybe a fiber and a probiotic. I can't remember if I said this already, but I use Garden of Life. I was using Critical Care, but that is really expensive. And so I went down to their 25 CFUs, and still seems to be working pretty good. Obviously, if I'm not eating well, or I'm not eating enough fiber, or I'm eating too much sugar or whatever, I'm not gonna have a great stomach and thus bowel movements, but they support that. I also take a multivitamin. I think it's really important. Not necessary, because I think I sometimes get in my head and I think that I need these things. I need these supplements, but you don't need them. They just help. And so multivitamin, to me, seems to help me. I think it was helping me with my lightheadedness. I don't take the gummies. You really want to check the bag and make sure that if it has folate, it's methylated folate. Make sure that you're getting your K and your D and, even copper and manganese and selenium and all that good stuff. I was using Garden of Life Women's Daily, and now I switched to Mega Food. Those are the things that I take in the morning. At night, I take magnesium. I found that it really helps me sleep good. I'm pretty sure I don't even have to take it every day or every night, but I take it before bed, and it seems to do its thing. I also recently started taking l-theanine. It makes just enough of a difference. For me, it's not that total knockout calm. Of course, a lot of these l-theanines are packaged in 200 milligrams, and then you just take one and it's 200 milligrams at once. But I take 100 milligrams, wait a little bit, take another 100 milligrams. I think you can take up to 400 milligrams, but I don't know if the 400 milligrams is something you can do for a long time, whereas I'm pretty sure the 200 milligrams a day is something you can do for a long time. L-theanine is just, I think, an amino acid found in green tea. So it's not something that your body naturally produces. It's an external substance, but it synergizes well with caffeine. When I'm feeling tweaking out, I'm let me take my l-theanine, let me wait a little bit and take another one. So into different herbs and supplements that I use kind of temporarily. There's, I think, 3 I use when I'm on my period. 1, Fenugreek. Fenugreek is great. Fenugreek is hugely impactful to period cramps. If you take fenugreek tea or fenugreek capsules a couple days before you start your period, it can really make a big difference. That is, in my experience, one of the most impactful. Immediately be I've given it to friends who have IUDs in and have always had painful periods, and they take fenugreek and they're oh my god, it doesn't hurt. Is this normal? And it's yeah, girl, you shouldn't be in that much pain all the time. It's pretty hard to overdo it on fenugreek. I use about just a pinch in tea, or I take a couple capsules a day, and for the tea I'll have it at least once a day, and then through my period. And I noticed that because right now I'm doing the capsules, Nature's Way capsules, when I don't take it, the cramps will come back, and then I can take the capsules and they'll go away again. So I highly recommend that for literally any person who has periods, because most people have cramps. For me, when I have cramps, it's cramping in my stomach and my back, and your uterus is expanding to like twice the size. So it puts pressure on my digestive system, and usually I get some sort of form of diarrhea. I realized I was taking black seed oil just because it's like healthy for you, but I noticed that it was making me kind of constipated. So when I have my period and I know that my stools are going to be looser because there's pressure on my intestines from my uterus and cramping, I don't have the money for it right now, take black seed oil. And it's super natural, and it just kind of like, for me, I don't know if it's going to do that for you because I haven't recommended this to other people, and it's not one of its like purported benefits, but it helps. And then my bones tend to get achy on my period too. So I sometimes, if it's bad, will take Andrographis. I take the Nature's Way Andrographis. With Andrographis, you have to be careful. It's a great herb. As my mentor explained it, it slicks along the blood. It's like an antiviral and antibacterial, so it makes it harder for pathogens to stick. So sometimes, like, if I'm really worried about getting sick when I'm like about to go out to an event, like I'll take it the day before and the day of. I don't know if it's actually doing anything, but the biggest physical effect I've noticed is its anti-inflammatory properties. And so if I'm having leg pains or knee pains or joint pains, I'll take one, and it helps relieve that pain. Because it's a blood slickener, it's also a blood thinner. You cannot take Andrographis if you have low blood pressure or if you're on blood pressure medication. But otherwise, if you're healthy, taking it here and there most likely is not going to cause any harm. And as soon as you stop taking it, like, you know, it's going to stop doing its thing. Although I can't technically, I guess, make that claim because one time I had an allergic reaction to chasteberry and that histamine trigger lasted months. But yeah, Andrographis for me, when my bones hurt, when my parents' backs hurt, I'm like, hey, take an Andrographis. It helps with the inflammation, kind of dull that all down. Those are really my go-tos in my herb closet that I stick to. When I'm sick, you know, it's vitamin C and zinc, classic. Gargling with salt water with some frankincense or clove oil in it, you know, when I have a sore throat. The throat coat tea by, I think it's Traditional Herbals or Herbal Traditionals. They sell it at like Walmart. I don't know if you ever tried it, but that stuff is really good when you have a sore throat. And the Herbal Traditionals brand of tea is really great. I also like Buddha tea. But they don't really do blends. They just do individual ones. Oh, a big issue that I have suffered with is UTIs. And they were being triggered by my gluten consumption. I'm a big bread girl. But things that helped me with that was, one, going gluten-free for the most part. And two, hibiscus tea, and dandelion root capsules. Dandelion and hibiscus are both diuretics. And when I'm having like a little bit of a twinge of a UTI, because maybe I ate a little bit too much gluten, you know, I just pop like 2 dandelion capsules. I think you can take up to like 1.5 grams of dandelion root a day, or at least that's what my mentor was taking and told me to take. And then you can take hibiscus tea, I think, up to 3 times a day. Yeah, those really make a difference. There's definitely herbs out there and supplements out there that like make a noticeable difference. And so if you're having like some sort of issue or whatever, like maybe your histamine's inflamed, like try Nettles, try nettle extract. You know, if you're having migraines, like try white willow bark. You know, there's tons of information out there when it comes to herbs, and lots of things can be helpful. I just caution you to not fall into the same mistake that I did, thinking that one herb or one supplement is going to be your savior. So with that being said, at the bottom of the video, I'll kind of like write out the things I take and the brands I use. Research is important. Definitely don't go mixing like St. John's wort with SSRIs or certain migraine medications, because you will mess yourself up. Herbs, you know, they are powerful and can be effective. And so they can also do harm. And that's not to scare you. That's to caution you into doing your proper research and due diligence. Yeah, really make sure that you know your body. Try things in small amounts and then slowly increase to see how you feel. At least that's the advice I give to myself, because I'm a pretty sensitive person and have like some sort of form of health anxiety. So it's like, I want to make sure that what I'm doing is good. Oh, the last thing that I tend to use is if my appetite is really messed up, like really messed up, like low appetite, but hungry, but like not able to eat because like I'm not liking food, I'll take a Parasite cleanse. I don't think they now commercially still sell the brand that I like to use, which is Scram. That one's really good. It's like clove and walnut hull and wormwood and, you know, chancapiedra and a couple other things. So you can find kind of similar brands. I think it's like those top three, the clove, the wormwood, and the black walnut, that kind of are the main fighters. I'm not saying I have parasites, but they are digestive stimulants, and they have helped when I'm like not having good bowel movements or I'm not having a good appetite, to kind of like kick that back up. And what I found personally is that if I'm having poor appetite and poor energy, a liver detox can be helpful. And you have to be careful with the different liver detoxes out there because they're all different. You want to do your research. It seems like milk thistle is like a pretty common go-to for that. Because you could have like some sort of syndrome where it's like the detox syndrome, where then like your body's excreting all these toxins and then it like kind of makes you feel worse at first. But, you know, do your research, talk to a friend if you know anyone who like knows their herbs. I could probably go on and on about all the different herbs that make like little impacts that are just like my favorite, but those are like the herbs and supplements that make the biggest impact that I use the most often. So yeah, thanks for tuning in.